Am I the butthole for telling my neighbor to get F-ed when he told me to remove my doorbell camera? So lately, there have been a number of burglaries in the area I live in. My wife and I were among those who got burglarized, and most of the stuff we lost were packages and electronics. My wife and I both work long hours, so we're not home most of the time, and despite taking precautions, we still are concerned for the safety of our belongings as well as other things. So I decided to get a doorbell camera, which frankly has become a necessity, and it's cheap to buy, $199, and easy to install. And so far we were able to catch a number of thieves in act. To my surprise, some of them I knew personally and were from the area, which helped a lot in getting our stuff back. On to the issue. So my neighbor and I were discussing this with few other neighbors, and I showed him a video that was taken by the camera to explain how we were able to identify the individuals who tried to steal stuff. I was fast-forwarding the footage, but he suddenly freaked out and pointed at his wife, who was at the door to visit my wife. I was confused when he asked how long I've been keeping this video and if I made copies of it. He then proceeded to tell me it did not feel right to see his wife being recorded by the doorbell cam, and the fact that I didn't get rid of this part since it had nothing to do with catching the thieves made him uncomfortable. I apologized for any misunderstanding and promised that it had nothing to do with his wife. We had few people stand at our door who were shown on our cam, so I wasn't just his wife. He cut the conversation and left. Then came back in the evening to ask for how long I will be keeping this camera. I asked why, and he said he wasn't sure about his wife being recorded and asked me to remove it. I said no. Then he suggested I install one inside, but I still said no. He got all pissed and said that I was acting inappropriately and mean after he came to me with his concerns, expecting me to understand that he doesn't want me having footages of his wife. I told him his wife can stop coming over if he was so worried, but he went on about never telling his wife what to do or where to go. He insisted I remove the cam, but I told him to get F-ed and never bring this up again. He left and got others involved. They told me I should be more considerate of my neighbor's feelings and understand where he's coming from, but I stood my ground and refused to remove the camera. My wife thinks I was being a jerk to our neighbor and his wife and have some respect for them, but I don't think I was being disrespectful. Was I? Not the butthole. What the hell? Laughing out loud. Is he the one who was stealing your stuff? Or maybe his wife, and that's why he was questioning how long you had it? You have the right to have your security camera. You stood your ground, and that guy is acting incredibly crazy. Original poster replies. Could be. I wouldn't be surprised, but seriously though. The guy has always been unreasonable. Yeah, he has either stolen from you or was entertaining the idea. Why else would this be such a big deal for him? That's the most likely answer, but for some reason I'm thinking he's cheating and his doorway or driveway is visible in the video. Or he's a fence for the thieves. It's also just as likely that he is one of the nutjobs that thinks if you have a picture of his wife on your property or outside, you're violating privacy and being a perv. There is no reason to assign malintent when pure idiots is more fitting a charge. Yeah, he could just believe that the government has access to the footage since it's probably stored in the cloud, and he doesn't want the FBI to know his wife's whereabouts. Or something. Seriously. I really hate when this man is stupid is the obvious answer, but people would rather spin intricate tales of him being the neighbor package dealer or cheating on his wife or whatever. Nah, people are just dumb, and users here give random but nobodies in cul-de-sacs way too much credit. It's not the single obvious answer. The burglary concern is just as valid. Since a few of the people in the neighborhood has been caught with stolen stuff from original poster, it's a high chance he either planned or have stolen stuff from original poster. It might also be something with an affair. Or he's just stupid, as you say. No need to be so hostile towards people here. Considering he was perfectly fine with all the footage and was interested in the product until he saw his wife on camera, I really don't think burglary was the concern. It's not hostile to point out that people would rather have their wild conspiracy theories instead of him just being stupid. If he was worried about getting caught in an affair, he would have freaked out before he saw his wife because he would have noticed his driveway. If he was worried about being caught stealing his stuff, he would have freaked out when he found out there was a camera, not just when he saw his wife. He's not stealing anything, he's just stupid. Yep. It's pretty obvious that the dude thinks original poster was keeping the footage for onanistic purposes. Absurd. Original poster was right to tell him to go to hell. Not the butthole. So I shouldn't post my witness protection theory? That's too bad, it was going to be a good one, playful face. For sure the FBI wouldn't have any idea where she is until she showed up on her neighbor's doorbell cam. That's the one thing they were waiting for. Good job, original poster. I wouldn't put it past him to try to damage the camera. I would put another one in a different place but still direct it at your front porch. I agree that his reaction is not normal. If possible, I would try to relocate your cam and make it mostly invisible, then get a dummy and place it on the old place. Don't forget it warning sign, if you ever need the footage for legally issues. If something happens to the old cam, you have it on video. His behavior is sketchy. Either that or his wife is in the witness protection program. Not the butthole. Or he's trying to get control over his wife without going through her. This honestly sounds like an abusive partner who's been put on warning that their partner will leave, especially with the never tell my partner what to do spiel. Replied to the wrong comment. Deleted and reposted here, where I meant it to go. This is what my money is on. Neighbor dude is an absolute control freak. And the fact that he specifically says he doesn't tell his wife where to go or what to do. Yeah, okay buddy, oddly specific considering most well-adjusted people in healthy relationships don't try to control their spouse's whereabouts. And they don't verbally harass neighbors over taking reasonable, and popular, security precautions to protect their property and belongings, not to mention such precautions are being taken by original poster because there have been actual serial thefts. But yeah, neighbor dude and or his wife could also have totally been pre-camera thieves and were possibly thinking about doing it again. My secret pervy pet theory is that neighbor dude jacks off to voyeur porn, so his mind made an immediate leap to sexualizing/fetishizing the doorbell cam situation. And that's why he reacted so over the top to original poster. Sorry that got dark and I hope I'm wrong. Or his wife was the checker, I don't know what the right word is, laughing my butt off, for the person who did rip them off, to let them know if they were home at the time? Especially since original poster said he knew some of the people. Why hasn't anyone addressed his argument that it's inappropriate to tell his wife where not to go but totally cool to tell a neighbor what can be installed on his property? That's a very strong reaction for someone who is 100% innocent. Think about it, original poster. My spicy senses are telling me he plans on stealing your stuff soon and is just upset that you can catch thieves. He's making up BS excuses for you removing your camera. Not the butthole. I would figure out a way to imply to him that his strong reaction seems sus to you. What level on the Scoville scale is your spicy sense detecting? F for effin' sus. I thought Scoville was a numerical thingy. I don't feel like looking it up though. Is it AF? Like hexadecimal? Someone explain the joke. It took until now to realize why you asked me that question. Lol, I guess I can't write English words tonight. The comment is better with the typo left in. Agreed. Spicy sense, spidey sense. Smiley face, smiley face. Exactly. Original poster, place another camera out there that is hidden. Wouldn't put it past him to try to destroy your property. If original poster can, get a different brand of doorbell camera, make a show in front of Clueless Joe of taking the current one off and installing the new one. When he asks, and he will ask, just say that since that doorbell camera was such a huge issue, you're replacing it. And conveniently leave out the fact that you're replacing it with another doorbell camera. Oh, and never share videos or info with him ever again. He's a clueless, entitled prat. Original poster replies. Yeah, I guess I can say his reaction was a bit over the top, but given that there have been instances where he acted like immaturely, this was expected to cause issues. Tell the neighbor you'll compromise by getting rid of the doorbell cam, but there's no way you're uninstalling the shower cam in their bathroom. I love Reddit. I'm usually not the devil's advocate type, so please feel free to disregard this comment, but I thought I'd provide an alternative suggestion. I'm a survivor of severe familial abuse and have had issues with being stalked by my abuser, which has meant locking down as much identifying information as possible. If someone were to need similar extreme measures, witness protection, for example, it would make sense to have concerns about video that is being shared publicly. I often have to ask people not to record/photograph me at events or tag my location, as it jeopardizes security measures to conceal where I am located and those close/important to me, as it also keeps my loved ones safe from similar harassment and abuse. Obviously, this is a very specific example, and chances are they've been involved in the Porch Pirates' motley crew. But it's always worth considering all options and giving the benefit of the doubt in those who are in difficult situations they have little control over. Regardless of the reason, original poster is not the butthole. Not the butthole. As you pointed out, if he's concerned about his wife being on camera, she doesn't need to come over. Also, realistically, dude needs to realize that we are all filmed every day when out in public. Stores, streets, anywhere in public is now filmed with security cameras. I find it ridiculous that people think that making unreasonable demands under the guise of needing to understand where they're coming from has become de rigueur, not to mention his actual concern is just flat out nutty, paranoid, and a bit creepy. What does he think you're doing with the footage? I think understanding where people are coming from is important. Where he is coming from is a place of controlling possessiveness, which is why his demands don't need to be met. His wife not coming over is the solution if she doesn't want to be on camera. The solution to him not wanting his wife to be on camera is to stop trying to treat her like property. Yeah, this whole thing stunk of a crazy level of possessiveness, as if his wife being on his neighbor's security footage is a slippery slope to being in a porno. You know it's crazy possessiveness because he says he doesn't want to tell his wife what to do. That implies she doesn't have a problem with it. If his wife was bothered by this, she'd stop going over when she found out. He doesn't need to tell her what to do at all. I think it's very telling that he said "I don't tell my wife what to do" as a response to your perfectly reasonable suggestion that his wife not come over if it's a concern. Not because he should be telling his wife what to do, obviously. But his answer means that he's not leaving it up to his wife to decide what to do about it. He may not even have told her. To him, you having footage of his wife is a concern to him for himself, not for his wife's sake. So, yeah. He's a creep who thinks he owns his wife and all images of her. Obviously, you have a right to have this device on your own porch, and they can just not come over if they don't like it. Not the butthole. Original poster replies. You might be right, his wife didn't say anything. Or he came home with his mistress one day and is terrified he got caught on camera. I found it rather ironic that he doesn't tell his wife what to do but thinks he can tell original poster what to do. Not the butthole. But what did he mean by, he suggested I install one inside? Does he want you to install a camera facing into your house to stop people from stealing outside your house? Not the butthole at all. The neighbor is. I think mentioning that she doesn't have to come over anymore was a good call. If you've already caught people on the camera, it's clearly worth it to have it up. Maybe this guy has something to hide. Oh, the plot thickens. I'm wondering how he explained it to other people and why they would be on his side. Guys, he was filming my wife. No, she was on their porch, but still. Frickin' jerk, right? Not the butthole. I would have told his wife myself. Hey neighbor. I hate to have to request this, but I need you to never come to my house again. Your husband is uncomfortable with you being recorded by our doorbell camera. The thought of not having the camera makes me uncomfortable, and I believe this is the only compromise. Tell her this, but do it on your front porch so it's recorded by the doorbell cam. Then come back to this post and link the recording, so we can all watch too. Not the butthole. Your neighbor was expressing his jealousy. In his mind, you having any footage of his wife means that you will be using it to relieve your pent-up desires, trying to be delicate here? Which really tells you more about your neighbor than you wanted to know. As it sounds like he's projecting any motive that he'd have for having footage of a neighbor's wife onto you. My first thought when reading this was, why is neighbor so freaked out about this? Is he worried original poster is using the video of his wife to whack off? Neighbor is a creep. And original poster is not the butthole. Ew. Not the butthole. It's not like you're surveilling his wife, and you have a very legitimate reason for having it. He started a fight over nothing. Not the butthole. That's an unusual reaction to some innocent doorbell footage, especially when he knew what it was for. This camera are very common, along with cameras in lots of other places. Not the butthole. I see a lot of comments about them being thieves, but this to me just reads as a man being unreasonably controlling of his wife. He doesn't want you to have footage of his wife because he probably thinks you're going to do something sexual with it. To me it's the same energy as not wanting women to have male friends because they don't trust them. He probably creeps on other women and is paranoid about men doing it to his wife. Pay attention to how he acts around the women in the neighborhood. Seems like he's projecting. He's probably a creep. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.